Welcome back to another Instagram Live. 2 Instagram Lives in one day. Haven't been on here for a while, so I thought I'd come on here and cover more questions because it's been a while since I've been here. So we'll do it as another question and answer format, just covering the main questions that you wanted to ask. We were talking just before on the topic of solipsism, which is the brain in a vat scenario in relation to existential OCD. And I mean, it used to attack me, that one, like on holidays and stuff like that. I mean, obviously the weather's nice now, and in the past when I used to lie out in the sun, and it was actually that was something where I got under that fear, because when I used to lay in the sun, I was lying outside earlier, and I was thinking of topics that I wanted to cover when I came on here, and I was thinking that when I used to lie out in the sun, the brain in a vat scenario is the idea that everyone else is fake and only you are real because you're only aware of your own consciousness. So therefore, what happened was when I was outside and I was lying in the sun, say 10 years ago, I used to think, well, I could still be happy lying in the sun. I wouldn't need people to know that people are real. If I'm just lying in the sun, that's okay, because I can still enjoy that listening to music even if people are fake. And then what happened was I used to think, where did it used to attack me? It used to attack me if I was in a bar or something, I was talking to people, it used to say, well, everyone's fake, they're not real. So if everyone's fake and not real, then this moment's ruined. But then I realized, well, actually, just like watching a movie, even if they're fake, I can still enjoy this. I can still enjoy my time here with them, because when we're watching a movie, we forget everyone's actors. So I started to realise that actually that is okay as well, and I could become comfortable, and that's how I sort of anchored in and under it to get under that fear for sort of solipsism and existential related OCD. And I think that's very important to have a think about, always to have a think for the rational position that we can take, even with the existential related ones where it's difficult often to apply the rational, as the same as it is with religion by definition being irrational. It can be difficult with that. But we still have to use the theory at times where we can, because it does get under it. We can use just the uncertain when it comes to religion, as we were when we were a child. We were uncertain about OCD, not OCD, but our religion and hell and so on, and we rolled with it. And then as we got older, we wanted that absolute certainty. Okay, let's have a look here at these questions. My brain is retarded. Definitely not retarded. Your brain is as it is. It's just got OCD on a genetic level, most likely in there. So that's why you feel that. But you're definitely not got some major fault. Once you recover, you won't be able to tell the difference between it. Rereading OCD, you've got to get used to not taking the knowledge in. I used to have that when I was reading the books to recover. I was like, oh my God, if you don't get this right, you're fucked, because you're never going to be able to understand the things that you need to get you better. And so that was one. And then I used to always be writing notes down for everything I used to think in relation to OCD and anxiety. I better not miss this, because if I miss this, I'm going to be stuck anxious for the rest of my life forever. And that was a bloody nightmare as well. So I had to give up the list making and give up the rereading everything all the time. I have a lot of OCD. I tap and repeat burners 24/7 over. That's probably because you can't take the risk of what if, for example, the house burns down. So you've got to take that risk of the house burning down for whatever reasons. There's a fire in whatever other irrational beliefs related to that is usually getting used to. Maybe the house does burn down. There's a risk of that. Maybe the house does get burgled. There's a risk of that. And all that kind of stuff is what needs to be got in under there, which takes practice and understanding. It's not easy to do just as simple as that. OCD does attack the things that matters most. That's what it's going for. It doesn't give a damn about something that's completely irrelevant to you because you don't care about it. It's going for the core things that matter most to you. Do you think mindfulness helps? Yes, for some, not for others. Not great to be going all internalized into your mind with someone who's really focused inwards anyway. For other people, creating distance between their thoughts and so on is very helpful, but it's you've got to find a balance. For different people, it's different. I am mostly only interested, even though it's scary. What's the feeling you might have done something harm to get the feeling stuck? I'll cover harm OCD in a separate topic because it needs quite a lot of discussion in relation to unconditional self-acceptance. So I will cover that in a separate topic. Can you have OCD about having OCD? Absolutely, because it's always looking for a way to keep you scared. And so because of that, because it's always looking for a way to keep you scared, one of the ways it's going to do that is try and convince you the thing's real and not OCD, because if you just thought it was OCD all the time and could feel that with clarity, it wouldn't bother you. Existential relating to what are we, why are we here? Well, what are we and why are we here? You don't actually need to know. You can get comfortable not knowing. It's about most of it is a very quick cycle of fear where we're very, very scared of not knowing something. We're very, very scared of that we need to know. What if we can't ever work this out? What if we stay anxious the rest of our life because we can't work this out and we don't get an answer and I need an answer and so on? And that's what's causing the problem. It's getting comfortable not needing, not knowing. And that's the most important. That's what my fear of death used to be always evolved around. Used to be comfortable with death. Maybe I'll never accept death and maybe my whole life will be difficult because I can't accept death. So it's always going to look to get a grip on those kinds of things. That's what it's doing. It's a very quick cycle of fear often with those. It's not so much the thought, the content of the thought in that instance. It's the fear of being stuck as you are with that thing for a long time. Let's have a look. Please make a separate video whenever you're free about sensory motor OCD. I think I might have done a sensory motor OCD video. I can't remember. You'll have to check my YouTube channel. But I will be doing more sensory motor OCD and cover it in a lot more detail. It's very, very common. All forms of it, versions of saliva, versions of blinking, breathing, any sensation. It is very, very common. It was one that I found very difficult myself initially. But the main driving forces are usually the fear of being stuck like that forever, same as what we were talking about in reference to other points, and the fear of not only being stuck like that forever, the fear of the torturous sensation forever, then trying to reject the thoughts internally so that they do not bother you, which again is what is fueling the fire. How to come out of inappropriate thoughts. This fear is eating us. The inappropriate thoughts are there because you're so scared of having inappropriate thoughts. That's why you're not having thoughts about caterpillars, because you're not scared of having thoughts about caterpillars. So it's about getting comfortable with those inappropriate thoughts that you believe is inappropriate. They're not the thoughts that have got no label. You've labeled them inappropriate. You've labeled them awful. You've labeled them terrible, scary, wrong, that you shouldn't have them. And that is what's driving them. It's exactly that. How you've labeled them, how you see them. Okay, so that's a very important point to remember. Side effects of medication of OCD. You're always going to find, you're not always going to find, lots of medication will have side effects. You have to get used to that and weigh it up, riding out the side effects versus the benefit to your anxiety and OCD, and finding a comfortable balance with your doctor as best you can. I think for existential, you want to be starting to look at videos and things that you're probably avoiding in relation to solipsism. Good exposure videos like The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, The Martian with Matt Damon, The Matrix, those kind of films that really get into it. Her, it's another good film. All those different movies that really get in. The Truman Show is one of the best for it, and The Matrix, really, really good for that. Watching those a few times to get comfortable whilst working on these irrational beliefs. When I was younger, I was intensely afraid of being possessed by ghosts, and I would sing Baby by Justin Bieber and pray to get out of my head. Is that just a fear? Well, yeah, it can take anything, like a fear of arachnophobia, fear of ghosts, anything, a monster in the cupboard, all these kinds of situations. They can all be there. So these kind of situations, it's an exaggerated response to that, you know. From younger, when we're saying, be careful, there's maybe a monster in the cupboard, then to, oh my God, not being able to sleep until all the cupboards have been checked. So it can be all variations, you know. Is it true OCD themes that all are more difficult than others? Some of them react different in different people. I've got people with POCD who've got over it very easily, and other people that struggle lots. It's different on different perspectives. Whichever one you're so scared of, it's going to go to 100 miles an hour. So it's like a homing missile. So you've got to get over all. Don't worry too much about the notion of themes. It's just OCD. It's just your fears. Okay, fear of anything. What bothers us today is different to what bothered people in the Middle Ages. It's very different times. Back then they were worried about religion and blasphemy. Now we're worried about POCD, etc. My doctor doesn't understand. Yeah, well, a lot of doctors will not understand about OCD. You can educate them with a lot of things that you've learned from this page, and give them advice or things that you know, but it's obviously good to find someone who really understands OCD, because most people, as a rule of thumb, do not understand OCD. So yeah, certainly you can give them a certain amount of information, but they're there to guide you on medication, etc. Okay, guys, I'll see you back on one of these soon, where I'll be covering more. And I will be doing another Q&A probably in a day or so's time. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Take it easy.